You won't believe where Cincinnati, Ohio home buyers are moving from. Okay, pop quiz. Where do you think most people moving to Cincinnati are coming from? Dayton, Columbus, maybe Cleveland? Wrong, wrong, and wrong. Right now, people are moving to Cincinnati from places like Brooklyn, Northern New Jersey, and Southern California. And they're not coming here because they lost their job or they're retiring. They're coming here because they're cashing out a $700,000 condo and buying a 4-bedroom house with a yard here in Cincinnati in cash. And here's the part that nobody's talking about. If you're a local first-time buyer, you are now competing against that coastal equity. And if you don't understand who you're bidding against in 2026, you're gonna get left behind. Today I'm breaking down the real migration data, right? Who's actually moving here, where they're coming from, and what it means for your next home purchase. So let's get into it. The equity migration from the coast. So let's start with the big picture. The single most important trend in the Cincinnati housing market right now isn't just that more people are moving here, it's where they're coming from and why. According to the US Census Bureau's Vintage 2025 estimates, the Midwest saw positive net domestic migration for the first time this decade. Let that sink in for a second. For years, the narrative is that the people were leaving the Midwest for the Sun Belt. And now that script is flipping, right? Here in Cincinnati specifically, we're not just getting folks from across Ohio. We're seeing a noticeable increase in home buyer search interest from the outskirts of New York City, northern New Jersey, and parts of California. Now, exact migration numbers aren't fully available yet, but the search data from platforms like Redfin tells a really clear story. Coastal buyers, they're shopping in Cincinnati. And it kind of makes sense when you think about it, right? According to Redfin's 2026 housing market predictions, the Great Lakes region is becoming an increasingly appealing alternative to coastal areas, especially as climate events like wildfires and floods push people to look for more climate resilient locations. So think about this from their perspective, right? You're sitting in a 1-bedroom apartment in a Jersey city paying $3,200 a month in rent, and you're watching wildfires on the news and someone shows you a 4-bedroom in Westchester for $385,000. Like, that's the light bulb moment. That's what's driving this migration. And then the secondary influx is our peer cities. So the coastal migration gets the headlines for sure, and it should, but there's a second wave that's just as important. I call these the lateral movers. These are the families coming from places like Chicago and Charlotte and Atlanta. These are cities that are similar to Cincinnati in a lot of ways, right? Good job markets, cultural scenes, family friendly, but with one big difference: price. According to the Cincinnati Regional Chamber's 2025 State of the Region report, Cincinnati added more than 20,000 new residents in 2024 alone. That's the strongest growth in a decade. And when you look at why, the math is actually pretty simple. According to Redfin, the median home price in Cincinnati sits at around $248,000 for a typical home. Compare that to the $400,000 to $600,000 averages in those peer cities, and essentially, you're getting the same quality of life, right? Like same caliber of restaurants, same access to professional sports, similar job market for potentially half the housing cost. That's a math equation Cincinnati wins every single time. And more people are running exactly those numbers. So we've established that the escape from the coasts is real. And we've seen that our peer city neighbors are starting to figure out that Cincinnati is kind of the Midwest's best kept secret. And here's where it gets really interesting. And speaking directly, I did not expect this when I first saw the data. It's not just middle-class families making the move. Cincinnati is becoming a magnet for a demographic that frankly wouldn't have given Ohio a second look even 5 years ago. I'm going to tell you exactly who that is in just a second and why they're choosing neighborhoods like Indian Hill and Hyde Park over the Hamptons. But first, if you're watching this and you're planning a move from out of state, please don't fly blind. I've put together a Cincinnati relocation guide that breaks down the top neighborhoods, schools, local insights, everything you need to know before you get here. And you can get the link in the description or in that pinned comment right below, so please grab that now. Now let's talk about the $1 million revelation. All right, here's what I was teasing. Cincinnati is no longer just affordable, it's actually becoming a luxury destination. Now I wanna be upfront, right? Cincinnati may not be the #1 destination in Ohio for home buyers earning $1 million or more, but we are seeing a clear and increasing trend of high net worth individuals looking at this region. And when you understand why, it makes perfect sense. Think about what your money buys here, right? You can get a full estate in Indian Hill. I'm talking acres of land, a pool, a guest house for the price of like a 3-bedroom condo in San Francisco. So according to Rent Cafe and the US Census data, there has been a noticeable increase in interest from high-income earners moving to the area. It kind of reflects like this broader trend of people seeking more affordable options without sacrificing their quality of life. These are people who can live anywhere in the country, and they're choosing Cincinnati. That should tell you something about where the city is headed. If we haven't met yet, I'm Peter Chabris with the Chabris Group right here in Cincinnati. My team and I help hundreds of families every single year find their place in this city, whether they're relocating from across the country or buying their first home right down the street. And today we're breaking down the 2026 migration data, the real numbers between who's moving here and how it's changing the market for you as a buyer. If you want to stay ahead of the Cincinnati market with data-backed insights like this, go ahead, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss a thing. Let's hit the fourth one, the Zoomtown rebound. You guys remember Zoomtowns, right? Places like Austin and Nashville and Boise, these cities that absolutely exploded during COVID because everyone could work from anywhere, right? Well, a lot of those markets have cooled off like significantly. Those prices got so inflated, and now these people are looking for the next move. And guess where they're landing? You know, according to Zillow's February 2026 forecast, home values in Cincinnati are projected to remain stable with a modest 1% growth. Here in the trenches, we're seeing way greater appreciation in those in-demand neighborhoods. And so meanwhile, many of those former hotspots are seeing these like legitimate price corrections. So picture this, someone moves to Austin in 2021, their home value shot way up and now it's coming back down. They're paying Texas property taxes, sitting in brutal traffic and thinking, God, there's gotta be another option, like a better option. Well, Cincinnati's that option. It's like the same version of a high growth city offering the benefits of growing economy without that extreme price roller coaster. And the last one here, guys, the climate haven factor. Now this last piece is the one that I think kind of ties everything together, and it's probably the most important factor long term, climate resilience. According to the Cincinnati Regional Chamber's Climate Migration Outlook from last year, around 30% of Americans considered climate change when deciding where to move. 30%. That's not like a fringe concern anymore. That's nearly 1 in 3 Americans. And when those people look up at their options, Cincinnati checks a lot of the boxes, right? We're inland, so no hurricanes, there's no wildfires, there's no rising sea levels. Our park system is nationally recognized. It's ranked highly by the Trust for Public Land. And our infrastructure is built for sustainability. Now, climate migration is still a developing trend, right? It's not like there's this mass exodus to the Midwest overnight. But the trajectory is clear, and Cincinnati's climate resilience is kind of becoming a genuine pull factor for families who are thinking about where they want to live in like 10 or 20 or even 30 years. So if you're someone who's been watching the wildfires in California or the flooding along the Ghost Coast and you're thinking, I need a safer place for my family, you're not alone. And Cincinnati is one of the places that people are landing. So let's bring it all together. Cincinnati is growing faster than it has in the past 10 years. We're pulling in buyers from the expensive coast, right, who are trading those overpriced condos for real homes with real space. And we're attracting high net worth earners at increasing rates. And we're catching the overflow from all those overheated Zoomtowns. We're becoming a go-to safe haven for families who care about climate resilience. And according to Redfin and other market reports, while the national market is rebalancing, Cincinnati remains incredibly competitive because our floor is much higher than people realize. And whether you're moving here from Brooklyn or you've lived here your entire life, this shift changes the game for everyone. So if you're thinking about moving to Cincinnati, or if you're a local trying to figure out how to navigate this new landscape, you do not have to do this alone, right? My team and I have the data, we've got the local routes, and we've got the strategy to make sure you come out ahead. So reach out to us. We'd love to help. You can start by grabbing that free relocation guide. Links in the description below. And watch the next video popping up on your screen right now to keep your research going. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.